Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat33, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order as Tyumen. Now, last video, we finished up our trees to get rid and the bombing raids. That went pretty well, all things considered. Now we're working on, well, we did some commune rebuilding, working on doing some farming stuff, destroying the nuclear family. Now we're working on repopulation programs, including, but not limited to, just giving people wives when they sign up for the army. I guess we'll get to that when we get to that, won't we? Meanwhile, we have quite a nice system of our poverty rate's going down very well. The base, all of our base productions are going along pretty well. It's all coming together quite well, and I am very excited personally to see how this ends up going. Let's do some industrial investments, get an extra production unit, and then do a tax cut. Some repopulation programs. We have bloated reserves, but we're going to start spending from them, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's do family building. Abandoned by Bukharin in their time of need, the Russian people are, in a sense, a nation of orphans. They are, however, also very many literal orphans, those who lost their parents from war's ravages, hunger, or simply abandonment. I'm going to readjust my timer real quick. The orphanages of Tyumen and many other of our cities are sadly filled to well over capacity with such children. Now that we have the time and resources to deal with this abominable situation, we must, or else we are not socialist, and hardly even men. The Republic will set up an adoption system that is the pride of the world, leaving families without children and children without families. Soon our orphanages will be empty, and we'll have taken the first step to overcoming the trauma of our most vulnerable from this long war. Sounds strangely noble. I'm nervous to see what's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be a great day for our Republic, and for the orphans with no asterisks at all. None. Well, it's a tragic piece of public knowledge that our population is suffering after decades of foreign and civil wars. For years, German planes have flown over our skies and targeted our people, killing soldiers and civilians, men, women, and children indiscriminately, while has undoubtedly caused a large degree of suffering throughout our lands. Most terribly, what this anarchy has done is cut down our already small population through bombing, attrition, bandit raids, and acts of God. A number of different solutions have been drafted to the so-called repopulation problem. Well, though one, above all, stands out. Women have for some time worked alongside men in certain roles that are fitting to them. This was done initially out of necessity, but as things are on their way to normalization, the added productivity that women bring to the workplace in terms of an extra set of hands is worth mentioning. On the other hand, however, it is the nature of women to bear children. If they're working, they can't bear children, and vice versa. We are to limit once more women's opportunity for work and work advancement until they have sired a requisite number of children, simultaneously encourage women to have children while not outright banning them from the workplace like some reactionary stooges may encourage. Certainly we may see a drop in productivity as some women leave to bear children if we do up to escalate this program, but we will see a notable increase in our birth rates. Ultimate decision rests with the chairman. Do it. The future of Russia depends on us. No, really, this is objectively probably not the best idea, but you know what? It is the funniest to me. It is the most political, gamer way to do it, so why not? Outside of, like, the moral concerns, but listen, we have no time for moral concerns. You know what we do have time for? We have time to find wives for soldiers. While our policies to encourage population growth have been moderately successful so far, we can always go further. Why limit ourselves to subsidizing parenthood and open for success when we give more direct state backing? At the moment, we simply don't have the time to wait for love to run its course unabated. A new program will seek to automatically assign potential partners to one another with voluntary membership in exchange for increased rations and female civilians. The other side of these new relationships will come from men automatically registered once they join the army. By demolishing the barriers separating potential partners from one another, the Communist Party hopes to build thousands of fruitful families in the near future. I see no issues with this. None at all. Our education is going up ever so slowly. Eventually we'll go ahead and get poverty reduction, I think. Lives for soldiers. And let's do the first 5-year plan. The 5-year plan. Nikolai Bukharin's insistence on maintaining the new economic policy, while successful in pockets of the Soviet Union, failed to build up large pockets of country and caused its total collapse to the Germans. Our need for development is high, and the time frame must be very soon, following the old Soviet guidelines for industrial development in the future, when the Republic is still vulnerable, as it is, would be suicidal. The never-enacted 5-year plan, part of the policy plank of the Bolshevik opposition, is the only solution to our industrial woes. Enormous state mobilization of all our productive forces for development, as suggested by Joseph Stalin, would have saved the Soviet Union in 1941, but we must settle for bringing its newest incarnation back to power all over Russia. Go into attrition planning. And Central Siberia is starting to go to war with each other already. Very interesting. The big boys are going to war off the bat. And that is very interesting. That's probably not good. Ooh, our credit rating's gone up. We're now at poor credit. But, hey, we'll catch back up. We cut taxes, so we still get a bit of surplus, but we're getting growth as well. Next, we get working on rebuilding an army. Let's do it. Regrettably, the military history of the West Siberian People's Republic has yielded little success. The Republic, faced by betrayal from within, fell apart before even being able to begin the reclamation of the rest of Russia. Now, we have been reduced to Tyumen and its environs. It is clear that we will have to reevaluate our tactics. The military is maybe the most important component to the revolution, and the solution to our military predicament likewise mirrors that need to ensure the rebirth of a Soviet state, industrialization and centralization. The Red Army will be rebuilt into a force that can challenge the strongest, so that it can soon restore the proletarian rule to the whole country. The SBA versus Krasnoyarsk. At this rate, I think I'm actually going to probably bet on the Siberian Black Army. Oh, actually, though, Kemerovo is also declared on these guys. If these guys can take it out before Siberian Black, I'd probably bet. I think it's more of a fluke. But actually, whoever wins out of here, I think is going to be the favorite to reunify things. We could do Red Armor or the Red Army. Or are we losing political power? We could do Red Armor. An armor division would be nice. Let's do the Red Armor. The old Soviet Union, weakened by revisionist incompetence, was woefully unprepared for the onslaught of a fascist modern army. Some of the most humiliating defeats came from the Reich's tank brigades, which swept over much of the country with devastating power. As we prepare to reclaim the West Siberian People's Republic, we can take one lesson from our enemy. Modern armor is an enormously powerful weapon in the right hands. Mechanizing the Red Army will hone it into a force capable of rapidly expanding our territory. Decisive action will make the difference in this war. Focusing on tanks allows us to focus on just that. Yeah, I'd probably bet on Siberian Black over Kemerovo at this point. Valery Konstantinovich Zima breathed the chilly Siberian air. The officer in Kaganovic's army had known little more than bunkers and bombings drills for the past few years, and despite the fact that the wintry bite of the cold morning seemed to pierce him to the bone, he could barely feel it. The fresh air felt too good on his face and his lungs. The longtime Soviet soldier looked at what he jokingly referred to his peers as a flock. His flock. A ragtag group of conscripts who were drawn from all sectors of society. There was Shvets, who came from a poor migrant family. His nose had been broken too many times, and his slender frame and short stature betrayed his family's poverty and his malnourishment. Filipov, the son of a disgraced intellectual, carried with him an air of undeserved snobbishness, and Vinogradov, whose plumpish frame told volumes about his background as a fourth son of a party official. These three were but a few familiar faces in the crowd, well over a dozen. Despite Zima's long service, he remained on a madly low rung of the Republic's command structure. Zima watched over his troops attempting to form up inside, noticing the glaring flaws that his soldiers likely didn't even know were issues. There was a lot of work to do, Zima thought to himself, but as one soldier nearly bumped into another, Zima pushed his stress out of his mind and took another deep breath of fresh air. Bunker air was the worst, he reminded himself. So he exhaled a sense of pride, something he had not felt in a long time, welled up within his chest. "Comrades!" He barked, pride overflowing from his body towards his charges. "It's time we learned the basics. We'll start with the march." Let's get some hospital construction, especially add up on that population growth. Someone's blasting music out there. I hope that doesn't get picked up by the microphone. I don't want to deal with any copyright issues. Oh, we could raid Magnitogorsk. We tried to do that last time, I remember, but it might be worth it doing it again. So we got the red armor. Not as powerful as the plot armor, of course, but we'll get there. The clock is breaking. Okay, Tabaritsky. You can relax there. Let's revisit the doctrines. Our critics accuse us of being overly wedded to doctrine. While adherence to Marxist theories is necessary to the utmost degree, the military is a different matter. Our reconstruction of the army to incorporate armored warfare is well underway, and our tactics have not kept up to the changing situation. The tank is a powerful tool, but we will need a strategy to avoid wastefully losing them against enemy fire. As we witnessed too well during the Great Patriotic War, the Germans made a highly effective use of rapid tank deployment to overwhelm and disable us before we could even respond. Perhaps we need a blitzkrieg of our own. We should probably also start training up some guys, I realize. Yeah, there we go. This BA versus Kemerovo. Yeah, if these guys can't get it figured out, I'm actually betting on Siberian Black. I should have stuck with my original guess. Damn it. Comrade Kravchenko, let's get this old girl running again, shall we? Captain Yevgenovich opened his commander's hatch to peek out while Kravchenko, his driver, got to work. A loud grunt from the engine, the old T-54 roared to life for the first time in several years. The memories of past battles and adventures came flooding back almost instantly to the captain, who had always felt right at home sitting in a tank with his comrades. Now that the skies were clear, the Red Army could put their armor to work again. Leaning back down into the tank's interior, Captain Yevgenovich gave his driver a light shove with his foot to grab his attention. "Alright, comrade, let's shake off the rust. Take us out of a warehouse, nice and easy." Kravchenko gave a non-response, and Yevgenovic went back to his previous position, with yet another loud rev of the engine and the sharp movement that caused the captain a jolt. The T-54 began to creep forward. Rolling out of the warehouse and into the sunlight of the outside, Captain Yevgenovic felt more powerful than ever before. The tank may have been rather antiquated, but it worked like it was brand new. Several other soldiers had been standing outside the warehouse, and they could not help but stare at the armored beast and its triumphant commander emerged. Younger recruits like them would likely have never seen a fully operational tank in action before. And the captain knew that the sight must have been something to behold. The emboldened Yevgenovic now had a cheery look about him, giving an occasional wave to those who had come to observe. Finally, the old tanker was back to where he belonged. Roll on, comrades. If Novosibirsk can't get this together... Actually, if they've been pushed back already, I don't think they're winning this. We'll do... Yeah, I think Tomsk is gonna probably push them back. She's just doing strangely well right now. But now that Magadan is in... and doing things, I don't know. Let's study some modern designs. Russia's long isolation has cut it off from recent military developments, understandably considering the general state of chaos. We have neither the opportunity nor the capital to begin improving our tank technology. The rest of the world has made considerable improvements in this regard, however. Luckily for us, we do not need to start our research program totally from scratch. Capture German and overtly donated American and Japanese tanks have sat abandoned in our armory since the 1950s. It's only a matter of reverse engineering them before we have designs of our own to show for our efforts. Let's go ahead and initiate a raid. Will not back down so easily. Oh shit. Homebrewed power armor. We have drawn plans, laid the theoretical groundwork, and closely studied results of cutting-edge foreign engineering. We've acquired the industrial capacity necessary for a modern army after years of ceaseless toil. Our workers have necessary equipment and are full of zeal to serve the proletariat state. We have everything we need to begin our take program. Our factories stand ready to produce as many as we need to fully liberate West Siberia from the traitors that have plagued it for so long. All that is left to do is begin. Shoot. Let's work on some hospitals. So get you in there as well, soldier. Next, let's go ahead and get working on our own designs. Though we have made admirable progress in our armor development programs, the reality is that Tyumen is still an underdeveloped statelet, and our designers are only human. There have been a number of pressing issues with the new tank designs that must be resolved if they are to be effective. These vehicles have been made with heavy influence from foreign models that are not necessarily suited for the environmental and industrial conditions of Russia. We need to modify them to suit our needs and establish a systematic framework of examination and data collection to do so. What we really need to do is not get our ass kicked by these traitors to the revolution. It'll take you how fucking long? Good for you, but... Corona conference ends. Those doctrines done. Scavenge for more loot. Let's get to it. There we go. Well, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and leave things there. But thanks always for watching, gang. Like if you like, dislike, if you didn't leave any comments or feedback down in the comments section below. I read all the comments get, and I appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.